Hi again, fellow unlicensed thinkers. Today I want to talk about crowdsourcing your manifestations or your desires and how that helps as opposed to trying to go it alone. And there are some different views on this. Some people will take the other route, but I'll get to that more towards the end. First off, can you guys go ahead and please hit that like button for me? I can't quite reach it from here. Thank you very much. And so let's go on to how this works. So I, as a person, let's say I can lift 50 pounds. Well, that's great. That's wonderful. 50 pounds is good. I can work. I can become stronger. I can lift 55 pounds. But I can do so much more with the help of others. Even a tiny little bit of help from another person or other people adds to what I'm capable of or what the end goal ends up being. So if each person that I talk to about what it is that I'm doing comes and helps me lift more weight, and they each just put in this tiny bit. They just lift with their little tiny finger, and they just put in that little bit more. So say they're helping me, and that adds maybe another pound that can be lifted. So now with one other person, just using their pinky, just a little bit of tiny bit of their energy, I'm able to lift 51 pounds now. Oh, that's great. So let's say I go out into the world and I tell everybody what I'm working on, what my new business is, what I'm trying to manifest, what I'm doing with my life, where I want to be, all of these amazing things that I'm bringing into my life. I tell everybody I meet about it. And let's say each one of them adds a little tiny bit of energy to this thing that I'm trying to do, this thing that I'm trying to lift. And so I could have 1,000 people out there who are just adding a little tiny bit to what I'm doing. And eventually I can lift, instead of 50 pounds, I can lift 1,000 pounds or more because I have this little tiny bit of help from everybody. And each little bit adds up. It's cumulative. So if you think about this, like I alluded to there, where this is thought energy and manifestation. So I tell my plan to these different people every day, and they don't, let's not be narcissistic about it, they don't spend their lives thinking about what it is that I do, but they might have a passing thought here and there. They might have a compliment for me or encouragement for me in that moment when I'm telling them. But later that night, they might be recounting their day. And they might think, oh yeah, I met that guy that he said he was going to be helping people to find self-awareness. And so they just gave me that little tiny bit of a boost. And then maybe the next day they run into their friends, and one of their friends says something about writing a book. And they say, oh yeah, I met a guy who said he was just writing a book. And so that little bit of energy adds to what I'm doing. They have provided me of their own free will that little bit of energy. I didn't make them do it. I just had a conversation with them. They chose to think about it, to bring it up. But it goes even deeper than that, because this works off of the subconscious as well. So someone's subconscious can sort of be thinking about it, processing that in the background, and still adding energy to what I'm doing. It's not hurting this person in any way. It's not forcing them to do anything. All I did was talk about what I was doing, and their mind, their subconscious, both, they're working in my favor simply by providing this extra little tiny bit of energy. And it's not even much, but it's cumulative. And so their subconscious is processing billions of things a day. And the subconscious remembers everything and tries to make some associations. So every time they run past a book, if I've told them about my book, they're now saying, oh, I spoke to a guy who wrote a book. Even if not in their conscious mind, their subconscious mind is processing it. So when we think about energy, that energy is just simply going out there. It's not, they don't even have to consciously do it. So they're becoming your agents. So every one of these people that you tell, that you talk to, that you have some kind of interaction with, that involves what it is that you're doing, what you're manifesting, what you're trying to bring into your life. Each one of them becomes your agent, your worker, sort of, but not out of force or anything like that. This would be called like white magic, because it's not doing any harm to anyone. Everyone is acting of their own free will. You're not forcing anything upon anyone, but you are receiving help from them. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that when it comes to, like I said, the magical realm or the manifesting realm or metaphysical, however you want to think about it. There's not anything negative being done. But outside of that magical realm and even the energetic realm, there's also the psychological effect of being accountable to others. And so someone that you tell might come back and say, oh, hey, how's that coming? And I have a great example of this that isn't, well, it's kind of about me, but it's really about this store that I go to down the street. And there's this young girl that works there, and we were talking one time, and she mentioned that she was going to be getting into cybersecurity. That was like her dream job, instead of working as the checker in the store. And so I don't go to that store too often, but when I do, and when I see her there, I will stop and I will ask her, how's it coming? How's the schooling going? How's your homework going? And what I'm doing is I'm adding to the energy of her getting into that position of her dreams, because I'm adding my energy to it. In fact, even right now, just like I was talking about before, I'm adding to that energy, but I'm also helping her be more accountable to herself and making her, I guess you could say, accountable to me as well, although I'm nothing in the grand scheme of things to her. It's just that little bit that her brain is now saying, and it's having this psychological effect of, oh, other people are watching this. I should probably make sure I'm getting this done right. I should probably make sure I'm doing this. I should probably make sure I'm advancing just in case somebody asks me about it again. So I'm helping her, and just like I talk about it in this video, or I talk to groups that I'm in, I talk about my book, I talk about how I want to help millions of people become happier, because that's what I've done. And so the more people I tell, the more people that know about that, the more thought energy that goes into that, the more accountability there is. These are all things that are building up, making, like a pebble rolling down a snowy hill. It picks up a little snow, and then a little more snow, and then a little more. And all of this eventually means that it's this gigantic snowball at the bottom that can wipe out a city or something. That's a little extreme, but but the point is that it's all this cumulative effect. And so talk about what you do. Don't hold it in. And now I'm going to talk about the other side of this. So a lot of people have a different opinion, and they say, don't talk about that, what you want to manifest. Don't talk about what you're doing. Save it all for the end. Save it all. You don't want their, what they say is the negative possibility there is that someone's negative thoughts or negative ideas about what you're doing might block your manifestation or your actions or your energy. And I think that's completely wrong. I think your intention to do something makes you the captain of the ship. You are the one providing direction and saying where this thing goes. And so their thoughts, whether they be positive or negative about you and what you're doing, don't really matter. What they are is energy. And so they're not going to block you. They're just simply, they're the fuel while you hold the reins or the steering wheel. You are the one guiding it, and every thought about what it is that you're doing or you simply adds to your amount of fuel. So if you think of like a sail, all wind is good to a sail. All wind will push a sail, and then the captain is saying where it goes. So that's fuel. The fuel in the ship, like that's powering the engines. It doesn't matter if that fuel thinks positively or negatively about where the boat is going. The boat is going where the boat is going. Even the crew of the ship who are helping the everything get there. They're taking all of the tasks that help that manifestation or that that desire come into being, that destination come into being. The crew of that ship can disagree with where the captain is taking it, but the ship still goes where the captain is taking it. So this idea that someone's negative effects can block you, I don't think has any use, shall we say, in my manifestation or your manifestation. I think if you think it can block you, it can block you. If you think of it as fuel for you to get and do what you want, then there's nothing to worry about. What they're doing is they're helping you. So they can think you're the biggest jerk in the world, but if you're using their energy as fuel and you're thinking of it as fuel pushing you in the direction that you want to go, it doesn't really matter what they think. They can think about whatever they want all day long, and the only effect it has on me is helping push me forward and push me forward. So their positive thoughts push me forward. Their negative thoughts also push me forward, because it's just fuel. So of course, I like to hear what you guys think in the comments, but additionally, I'd like you to go ahead and comment about what your dream, your manifestation, your desire is. Go ahead and put that down in the comments so that everyone who comes across this video, everyone who looks at your comment, can help be fuel to push you forward, to push you to your destination or your next step or whatever you want to call it. So go ahead and put something down in the comments that you're waiting for, that you're striving for, whatever it might be. Love to hear about those, and let's see if we can't help that along a little bit. Be sure to hit like and also share the video with someone else who needs a little boost to their manifestations. Have a great